Made a mistake of clicking this video last week and it completely changed my algorithm. I was like, I know Possum Bud had a couple of videos about this guy. Let me check it out. And man, was that a big mistake clicking that nostalgianomics. The video was pretty good, not gonna lie, but my whole algorithm became a Poke Investor wet dream. Just thumbnails of booster boxes with green chart arrows and red chart arrows and a bunch of dollar signs everywhere. Now, I watch the occasional should I open or keep it sealed. Kind of hard to avoid those videos, the occasional Opossum Bud and Kira videos, just to keep a pulse on the community. And boy, are things different, but still kind of the same from a couple years ago. Pokemon collectors have these weird overlapping circles of hobbyists, investors, scalpers, creators, and it's a combination, or some people are just like hybrids of each. Creators are hobbyists, creators are investors, scalpers, so on and so forth. Investors are scalpers, investors are creators, investors are hobbyists. It's just like a mishmash of all of these things combined together. And I think the popularity of all these combinations is creating massive amounts of FOMO, leading to people being confused on what they want to be and how they want to be part of this community. And that's a really dangerous gray area. Not gonna lie, one of the reasons I'm making this video right now is because a lot of investor bros are really clicking on some of my old videos where I'm addressing local hobby collectors, and they're telling me in my comment section that I gave some really bad advice, when in reality I was just making sure people didn't overpay for the Charizard Premium Collection or something like that, when it was supposed to be retail for 120, but people were selling for like 250, 300 during that crazy time, and I was just trying to make it easy for people who are trying to rip packs and enjoy getting the promos and whatnot. But people are just posting like, "Oh yeah, I bought a case for $1,000," and like they're like rubbing it in my face. Like, good for you, bro. Like, I hope your investment does well. I'm a hobby collector. I don't really care about like actually investing in this type of product. But that was not the reason of my video. Like, Pokemon investing is super easy if you really want to break it down, and Nostalgianomics pretty much says the same. Just buy it and sit on it, and the price is going to go up, right? We deal with rotations. There's new sets that come out, and then those sets stop printing, and then the old sets, because people wanted to be part of their collection or they're going after a specific chase card, the prices are going to go up. It's not really that complicated. Just buy and hold, and then sell when you feel like your investment has really matured. It's not really that crazy. You don't have to really be a genius about this. um, but that being said, I'm a hobby collector, not an investor. And even now, I'm not buying cards because people are just straight up losing their minds. You have long lines on restock days, people fighting in the aisles, massive credit card debt piling up. You got babies crying, Timmy's crying, virgins crying. It's like the worst what's in the cupboard soup, just a mishmash of chaos everywhere. Like, we had similar issues when Logan Paul got into the hobby, and I don't put the full blame on him on during that time, because Leonhardt grading his Charizard was before that, and that's kind of what really got everything going, right? Everyone chasing after this first edition Charizard, and try to get it graded from PSA, whatever. People were just collecting differently back then. A lot of people just went to vintage. Most modern stuff was untouched, unless the modern stuff really tickled the nostalgia, like celebrations at that time. Of course, anything Charizard was always going crazy. Some people were modern exclusive, some people were vintage exclusive, some people were just open to get specific chase cards. That was kind of how the hobby was. Despite that, most modern was pretty accessible. Right now, everyone is just buying things to such a degree you can't find any modern for like 8 months after the release date, and that's really the current state of the market. And whatever, you can have an opinion on it or not, doesn't really matter. But that's just how I'm seeing things right now. So back to the Nostalgianomics video. It's going to be a pretty crazy take, given that I love people like Opossum Bud, and Carol's videos are really good. But he's right. Just buy a booster box, sit on it, and it'll beat the S&P 500 for the most part. But there's a time and a place for that. And the way that it's currently happening is not like it was before. The last few years, you could buy something MSRP or even lower, right? When a new set came out, it was like $100 or even less than that, when retail was going for 130, 145 or something like that. And everyone got a chance to buy, open, collect, and invest pretty easily. Like, you could buy Evolving Skies for regular price, and then you could just sit on it. Somebody throws it into the closet, and now it's worth $1,300, but he bought it for $100 or $200 at that time. Like, it wasn't that crazy, to just invest into his regular stuff. Or even when people were going crazy for evolutions right before that boom happened, you could buy that box for $200, and now it's close to $1,000 or something like that. So times were pretty different, and collecting was pretty easy back then. But now everyone wants to double and flip ASAP. A lot of short term investors. Some people are opening to get the chase card despite the odds, where you're going to wreck yourself. They bought the box as an investment, but then start opening like it was the hobby, or you're doing it as a hobby, but then looking for investment. You're going to just screw yourself if you do it that way. You can't really do that if you want to keep your money. You need to be disciplined on what you want to do. If you buy something for investment, treat it like an investment. If you want to blow off some steam and open product to treat yourself, don't get upset when you don't put the investment card. There's definitely some weird gambling chemistry happening in the brain right there. But again, that's kind of like a commentary of what's this modern age of people are actually like. And this FOMO is quite literally going to kill people through credit card debt. They're just gonna think like, I'm buying something, I'm gonna flip it quick, make quick buck. But then when they can't flip things, it really just benefits one group of people, business investors. So when a guy is buying Pokemon cards trying to flip them and he can't move the product, they have to sell at they have to sell pretty much their whole collection in bulk, and oftentimes at a discount to people like Nostalgianomics, who's always ready to buy booster boxes if you listen to his videos, right? Just so they can stay afloat or avoid getting liquidated. And a lot of people are not going to learn that lesson fast enough or quick enough, and that's going to lead to a lot of problems in people's lives. There is a nice mix of people who made their hobby collecting into great investment portfolios where they just bought and held and just ended up appreciating. Twice Big Jake, who was maybe I guess more of a hated investor at that time, even though he made some pretty good videos. So I don't give any hate towards that direction. But a lot of people use him as like the poster boy of like, yo, don't be an investor in this space. But anyway, he made a comment recently about just like, you opened what you wanted and the price just kind of appreciated at the time, or you just bought it at a specific price and everything kind of took care of itself. And that pretty much is the same, but right now, because everybody's buying overinflated, there's not really much chance to let the cards appreciate to the term that they need to. You just open what you wanted and just let time do the rest. But now, just like, again, nothing is at the price that it should be. People are not able to get any product at all, and you're not able to open what you really wanted. So now it's just a big mess. But if you're here for the short term, you can't really do that unless you really know what you're doing, and that requires you to have spent some time in the space for a while, just to know like what cards are more trendy, how often prices kind of drop after like release dates and stuff like that. So unless you're really educated about it, it's not something you just like, oh yeah, let me just clear all these shelves, I'm gonna make a whole bunch of money. Like, you should know what type of product you're buying and why. The easiest things that people can kind of really focus on are like Charizards and Gengars. Mewtwo has like a demographic. Cynthia waifus, like, this is a particular demographic that people really care about. I'm really oversimplifying it, but this is kind of just like, you need to spend some time in this space to really understand what to invest in properly. I really do feel like in the short term, like 12 to 18 months, there's going to be a lot of product flooding the market just because people need to offload product and not incur losses. And it's definitely like stocks, where most long-term investors usually outperform most short-term investors, or even people who don't really care about the value of their collection and just let it ride. Like, you got issued some stock from your company and you just sat on it for 20 or 30 years or whatever. So if you really want to be an investor in this space, I think the key is to actually like the cards you're buying and learn about the hobby and plan to be here for the long run. There's definitely room for investors in this space. You just got to do it properly, and not make the entire market go like crazy. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It's just a really weird time. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video.